So the reason that we are so interested, excited really, to be with you, to chew with you about the things that are important to you, is because we have a very clear view of the desires that you have launched that are in your vibrational reality. We continue to focus like this, but it's because we want you to realize that when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and you launch these rockets that are gathered for you. And by gathered, we mean, you know about law of attraction, sort of, kind of, you get the sense of that. Well, there's a part of you, a larger part of you, that didn't come into your physical body with you when you came. That larger part of you remained non-physically focused. Humans have often called that part of you your soul, or the source part of you. So that non-physical part of you, when you launch a rocket, and that rocket of desire radiates, it is held or given attention by your inner being. And so that rocket of desire that you launch is held by your inner being. Your inner being holds the point of focus that then law of attraction is responding to. Does that make sense to you? When you think a thought, law of attraction is responding to you and the thought you think. And so things like the thought you're thinking, even other thoughts like the thought you're thinking, other thoughts like the thought you're thinking, conversations like the thought you're thinking, conversations like the words you're speaking, people like the being that you are, all things that are likened to themselves are drawn by law of attraction. So when you think a thought with your human, physical, beautiful personality that is you, law of attraction brings other things like that to you. And but, hear this, and but, when you've launched this rocket of desire, when you've set a preference forward and your inner being receives that preference on your behalf and knows you want it, your inner being gives undivided, and in other words, doesn't contradict it, doesn't doubt it, doesn't worry about it, undivided positive attention to what you've asked for. And that point of attraction is very real. So when we say your desires gather other desires like them, that's why. You have an advocate called your inner being holding your hopes and dreams and desires in very clear perspective, and law of attraction is growing them as law of attraction grows everything that is focused upon. You can thank your inner being very much for keeping alive your dreams, your desires. However, the very fact that your inner being does stay focused upon what you want is the very reason, the only reason, that you ever feel negative emotion. Because you ask for it and your inner being knows you want it, and your inner being owns it and knows it and holds it. And when you don't, when you stay focused upon the reason you want it, I want more money because not having enough money is miserable. Well, your vibration of not having enough money, your misery about it, makes you contrary to your own desire. And that's what negative emotion is. You're not miserable because you don't have enough money. You're miserable because you're not in sync with who you really are. Who you really are became more and you didn't go because you're focused upon what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. Stop it. You're still chewing that old gum. You're going through the motions and you may be giving it lip service, but anytime you feel negative emotion, it always means the same thing. You have expanded. Your inner being took the expansion. Your inner being holds the expansion. Your inner being is the expansion. Your inner being is holding the expansion for you, and you're not coming because you're facing what you think is reality. It's not reality. It's old news. It was the bouncing off place. It was what gave your dream flight. It was the problem that caused the solution to be born. It was the question that caused the answer to come about. But you've got to make a decision. Are you going to stay focused upon the problem, or are you going to look forward to the answer? Because your inner being, you may not know this, your inner being already found the answer. You know why? Oh, friends, this is the part that is the most wonderful about you. When you live enough life that you identify a problem, with every particle of the problem that comes into being, the solution comes into being too. If you've got a problem, there is a solution. The question is, are you going toward the solution, or are you still defending or justifying the solution by hammering away on the problem? I really need it. You learned that from your mother, because she often wouldn't give up the goods until you pleaded a really needy case. But I really need it. I might die. I'm suffering so. And so she gave you a flawed premise. She helped you to believe that if you were able to justify your unhappiness in a strong enough way, that then someone would come in and would provide the solution. But that is not how the universe works, and those solutions are puny in comparison to the solutions that are in your vortex that you have access to in the moment that you understand that a problem and a solution are very different vibrations, but that when you have launched the solution because you have activated the problem, that you could move right to the solution if you just knew that you could. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. What are you giving your attention to? What's active in you? How do you spend your day? How are you fostering your point of attraction? Do you watch the news? Is that what makes up the bulk of what you offer vibrationally? Are you pushing against lots of things? If you are, that's not good for you, because when you shout no at something, the universe gives you more of it. And it's not because the universe is unkind, it's because there's no such thing as no in an attraction-based, inclusive-based universe. When you look at something you want and you shout yes, 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 in time you become a vibrational match to what you're saying yes to, and it flows to you. But when you see something and you shout no, 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 in time you become a vibrational match to it, and this thing that you're shouting no at the most comes to you. And the reason that you feel your misery or discomfort is because your inner being is not shouting anything at what you don't want. Your inner being is giving no attention to what you don't want, because your inner being understands how law of attraction works. And we want you to too. But it's going to require you seeing yourself differently than you have been. You've got to begin seeing yourself more as a vibrational being, more as someone who radiates a vibrational signal that is being answered, just like tuning your tuner in your radio in your car. There's a broadcasting tower or a broadcasting satellite, there's a broadcasting something, and you got to tune into it. And your inner being is broadcasting a very clear signal to you about everything that you want. The question is, can you hear it? So that's what we'll talk about. Talk about how you can get into that receiving mode, how you can set your tuner so that you can be in the receptive mode of what you're asking for, not the receptive mode of the problem. Esther, since we have been talking about this so much lately, Esther asks herself 100 or more times a day, as a thought comes to her, okay, what receiving mode am I in? What receiving mode am I in? Because your receiver is always on. It's always on. So did this thought come to me because I've been worried about something, because I've been focused upon the problem? Was this a response to my problem activation? Or am I in the receiving mode of a solution? And the thing that is so wonderful, that if you can hear it right now, it's going to set you free. The thing that is so wonderful about this understanding is that when you are in the receptive mode of the solution that you are looking for, usually there are no thoughts in your mind when the thought comes. It sort of just comes to you from a state of meditation or from a state of appreciation. It comes to you when you're driving and basking, or when you're bathing and basking, or when you're walking and basking. It comes to you right out of your sleep before you've had an opportunity to get anything else going, because this solution is known by your inner being, and it has nothing to do with the problem that you've been hammering, with the problem that you've been focused upon. And so an idea will come to Esther, and she'll think, now wait a minute, it's got a lot of momentum. I can feel that there's power in this thought. But the question is, did this thought come because I've been focused upon a problem? And so am I in that receiving mode? Or was I in a blissful place of receiving where my inner being is offering me a new thought and giving me a new opportunity to have a new jump start into this? Did you follow that? When you quiet your mind through meditation, you stop all thought, which means you stop all resistant thought. And then when a thought occurs to you at the end of your meditation, or even during meditation, or even following meditation, when a thought occurs to you, once your own mind has deactivated that receptive mode, You following what we're getting at? For example, let's say that you have 40 acres in Texas. That's what Esther has. And let's say that a lot of it is natural, wild and woolly. But quite a bit of it has been planted and is being watered and is being tended to and is really beautiful, or has the potential of really being beautiful. And you have some new gardeners who cost a lot of money and show up on a regular basis and make a mess. Their mowers aren't sharp and their weed eaters are broken and the people that are operating them are not highly skilled. And so they just do a sort of hack job on it. And you walk through and you see it and you go, yikes. And then you get a thought. I think I will look for a new gardener. Now, what receptive mode do you think you were in? Do you think you have access to the very best gardeners around? Or do you think that what you're witnessing, while it's valid and real and true, has you in a receptive mode of getting another one just like this one? And here's the thing that's so wonderful. If you're not sure, hire them and find out. Now, some might think that the solution to this is to go out there and look at something that doesn't look good and then know what you don't want, so know what you do want. So you say, I really don't like that they went through the opening that is so beautiful and they brushed all the little succulents and knocked several of them on the ground and just left them there. And what I want is someone who doesn't do that. You might think that that's the other end of that stick, but it isn't. You could talk all day about the improvement that you seek based upon what you've been looking at, and you're not in the receptive mode of what you really want. You're in the receptive mode of more of the same. More of the same. Can you hear it? But step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is you ask. Oh, you ask. Contrast causes you to ask. Step 2 is it's in the vortex. Your solution is already formulating because you ask and your inner being, source, is on it. Step 3 is you got to get in the receptive mode where you let what source has gathered for you into your experience. So the solution to that improvement isn't beating the bushes for someone that's better. It isn't asking for resumes and going down lists. It isn't giving them the 3rd degree. Is your mower sharp? Do you know how to use a weed eater? Do you have eyes in your head? Can you see when there's a mess? 3rd degree doesn't work. So since you've already done step 1 and since step 2 is already done, step 3 is get your mind off of it. You've already done your work. You've asked and it's been answered. Now go do something else. Because if you stay focused upon this problem that is active within you, and friends, it's not possible for you to focus upon that subject in a pure way when what you've been witnessing is the opposite of what you want. You can't get there from there. You see what we're getting at? So, you know what you do? Go somewhere else. Go somewhere where you don't keep seeing the problem, because if you keep looking at the problem, you can't let the solution in. You've got to put some distance between. There must be separation between the activation of your problem and the allowance of your solution. Now, meditation will give that to you incrementally, 15 or 20 minutes a day. Appreciation does too. Leaving the property certainly does. Going somewhere where you don't see it. But you cannot stay focused upon a problem. You cannot find a solution to a problem while you're focused upon the problem. And we know that's counterintuitive to humandom. It's not the way that most humans approach most things. Most think that you've got to wrestle it to the ground and kill it. Most think that if you take your attention away from it, that you'll never find a solution, when the opposite is true. Your attention to the problem will never allow a solution because they are vibrationally different. You've got to put some distance between your question and your answer, your problem and your solution.